Welcome to Los Angeles State Technical College Winter 2014 GIS class real-time videos, meaning no editing, just goes on the Cosmos and the Omega to create collaborative thinking, creative strategies for the planet Earth. So basically here what I'm going to teach you right now is how to bring data from other sources into a map. Notice here we have our IMAP, Federal Enterprise Architecture, with these four classification: ecology, environment, governing lines, transportation, regulating lines. We have education, population, assisting, core indicators, educational attainment, educational providers, colleges, high schools, private universities. And then we have the economy by industry clusters, psychographics, labor, demographics, businesses, all types of business at a one-digit breakdown. So now there's three ways that you can bring data. Locally, when you have it in your machine, it will search inside. Enterprise is when you have, for example, trade tech. We're going to be moving towards creating an LATTC enterprise environment where you can look at multiple computers and bring shape files, bring GIS information to customize your map. And then you're going to have ArcGIS Online, where the machine will go into the web and search for all maps, data, tools, and images. So we're going to look here, and I would like to bring river, Los Angeles River County. So I'm going to say California River, and then that's going to take me to multiple locations, right? And something that is very important is who actually creates the information. Because if the data is verifiable, usually a government agency, a foundation, is going to have more credibility than others. For example, this is by the National Landscape Conservatory. This is by the California USA Bureau Land Mapping, Boundaries. And notice how there's 3 pages. This is by the California Hydrography, Flow Lines, Aquatic Integrity, Danish. So this is where all the information is. Environmental Protection Agency. So you gotta select which one do you think will be the best. So let's just open right now. Here are different watersheds. Let's just open. Let's go to number 2. Let's see what else are our options here. It's kind of nice because it gives you a thumbprint image of what it shows. I think this might be best, California, but there's no thumbnail. And the owner, so it's really just we're not sure if that will be a good, reliable source because people can miss information. This is the Sacramento River. So I want one that shows all the rivers, fresh water globally. Number 3, Sacramento Map Tour, California River. So I think the National Conservation, that might be a California. Let's go to the California USA Bureau Land Mapping. And basically, this is giving you this, the following data source use geographic coordinate system that is different from the one used by the data frame you are adding the data. So these are called coordinate systems. Right now, there's a whole tutorial that we're going to do about what is the projection they use. So we're going to say close and accept. And notice here how it added into our information. So we were looking for rivers and not necessarily, that's why there's so many jobs just to organize data. You can open the attribute table, and basically they're dividing areas by desert and Black Rock High School. So that's really not about rivers, but somehow when the person populated this GIS, they put it on the river. Now here you actually, one way is to close your search dialog box and do what is called zoom extent. And then here you can see it has entire California, and basically it has 3 areas by California Desert, King Ridge, and you don't know what nomenclature this is. So this was probably data that has no use to us, so you just remove it. And then you go back to your, that's your catalog, to your search, and then you go to, one way that you can go, you can also look under maps instead of data. So notice here I said maps, and then it gives you another set of information. California new wells and water resources. So let's look at that one, might be good. This is probably the best, the United States Geography Services. That will be a good one. Los Angeles River Park Sustainability. This map shows suitable park locations. So that might be an interesting one to bring. So let's bring that one, Los Angeles River. In order to use Bing search, you must enable the capability of obtaining, find out how to obtain. Okay, so we don't have the, it's interesting how Explore, Google, Bing, and S-Rate, they have all these kind of territorialities. So it's unable to connect to Bing. Notice that this only didn't connect it to Google, but somehow you gotta open your laptop to Bing, so it failed. So save changes. So basically it's going to open a whole other new map. So you want to save the existing. So it didn't, when you're opening a map, instead of putting it on top of your existing map, it wants to open a new one. And notice here how it has Los Angeles River Park Sustainability. So that's a polygon that says good location, push pin stick. So somebody created a map. So the first thing, you're going to go to zoom extend and see what the entire map is telling you. You're going to close again your search, and let's look at what the entire map is telling you. Apparently this is Los Angeles. That's the base map. That must be the river. And basically this is a study. I think I've seen this study. This is the Los Angeles River, and somebody made a study where you can put new parks. Notice how these are not the good locations. You don't see any of these. So I don't know if you need to refresh it. And let's turn on it. So you know, when you bring a map like this, you have to become familiar. So this is something, a map somebody already did. So you right click, open attribute tables, elementary school. So this is the attribute table for that one. So this is kind of interesting, but it's kind of worthless because you don't know what were the variables. So when they say good locations, what made it a good location? So you right click, and this is like there's no metadata. So how did they come up with those areas? I think that's Los Angeles River. Notice how they have base map. You can turn it on and off. Let's refresh it. So no, that's not it. Let's see. Yeah, so notice that they should have called these Los Angeles River, right? And they should have put some kind of what is called metadata. So you right click properties. Here they should have told us what was the general catalog, data frame. So this is what I'm saying, there's no standard. So this is worthless to us now. So we kind of close it, and we don't want to save it. And then we go back into our GIS and we try to look. What we're looking for is the Los Angeles River plain map with all the rivers, all the watersheds, so we can add it to our map. So since that, so let's open search again. Let's give it another shot, search, and let's look all maps, data, whatever, and we put California rivers. Another way that you can go is called the California Spatial Library, and that's probably where we're gonna have to do. The problem right now is that notice how there's no standard, so everybody publishes maps, data, and you can spend hours finding the right information, right? So Lost River, and you saw it how I just show you rivers. This might be a good one, but notice how also somebody already, this is more, so somebody should distinguish between, okay, they are telling you maps versus data, and what we're looking for is more data. We want the raw data of all the rivers And I'm not finding, they should have it by government agencies. California Hydro, these are just hydrography flow lines. The map layer shows the flow line of a surface. They tell you a little bit here, provides the location of new oil. So there's a little bit of a description, but I don't think it's specific enough. Drainage densities, 6 rivers, park sustainability, that's the one we just opened. We just want a basic map with the rivers, so you can see why there's so many jobs, because you gotta find out California protected, not available, trash reduction. I'm gonna just go ahead and say this is stream flow restoration. So if it was, notice this is gonna be a brand new map, and that's okay. So it's actually, oh no, it added it here. So this is the flow, very low priority, high priority. So the first thing you gotta do, zoom extend. And because it had a different projection, you really, what you do, you go right click, zoom to layer. So what happened, remember where it says, if we turn on any of these information, now we zoom in, our layers are in different projections. If you turn on the environment and you just want to see at least Los Angeles, regulating lines, we want to see the county, and you refresh, they are in different projections. This projection, I think, you use a reticula, more like a squares that are where around the sphere, and these use a different projection. So they're literally not in the same planet per se. They're looking at the planet from different projections. So this also was a failure. So it's kind of good that you guys are looking at failures, because that's sometimes try and error. Let's see if we open this one, summary, pop rivers. Tribal land, let's look at this one. And I just want to show you how to, from any given map, you can customize it to augment to this data. So again, this is a map, it's not a layer, so we actually need to, do you want to save it? Yes. And then it opens a brand new map. And then what you do, you can, if you like this layer, literally you can just copy and paste. So this is an aerial, right? And this is kind of cool look, USA federal lands. That's kind of good to know. So, okay, so first of all, let's do a zoom all. And notice how, so the world terrain, and then it has all the federal lands. So one way to explore these, I always like to turn off all the layers to see federal lands and labels, federal lands. So what are federal lands? So you can turn on the properties, doesn't source, layers. So what are federal lands? So you will actually have to go into the internet and find out what they mean. World boundaries. So what can we do with this information? Like, again, we cannot do anything. It would be nice to say, what do they mean by federal lands? What do these colors mean? There's no way to know with this data. Here, you go right click properties. It should describe general what they mean. It's called, all of these called the metadata. I cannot see it. Just boundaries. Okay, here we go. This map country boundaries, first order, internal administrative boundaries, county, alternative. The map was developed by Esra using administrative city data. So see, this is good. So this is the metadata. And but I think that's, I don't think right now for what I want to do. Maybe I was kind of interested to, if it could give me all the polygons. Let's see. These might help. Let's see if I turn all of these off, see this divide, if I actually turn these off, and I also have right click properties, USA federal lands, I mean maybe later on we can find out what federal lands is. I'm gonna copy this layer, copy, and I'm actually gonna open, and I'm gonna bring it just to show you an example. I'm gonna open my other map. Oops. So I'm gonna go here, file, open, and I'm gonna go back to this one. I should probably go to California New Wells and Water Resources. I'm gonna open that one too. Open, save changes. Did I say copy already? Yes? Okay. So save changes, no. So now I can go here, edit, paste, and now here we have US federal lands. So we're gonna, what we don't know is if we have it on the same projection. Apparently they are in the same, it looks good because that's California. So it might be in the same projection. Now, one way to know right away, see, that's Los Angeles County. So it is in the same projection. See, do you see? Because I have Los Angeles County, if I turn it on, it's right there. So it's in the same projection. So I can, so now we can maybe, we go inside. Whatever this is kind of interesting. So now we know that Los Angeles has, I don't know what is this taxonomy, but it has light green, dark green, and orange. I think this might be ocean boundary. I think these are the San Bernardino Mountains, and this is Malibu. Basically, these three lands do not belong to California. They belong to the federal government. Because they're for the nation. So in case of war, of national disaster, or compliance, they belong to, and this is actually kind of cool to have, but what we're going to have to do later on, notice how they don't have attribute tables. See, we cannot populate this, it's just given to us, but I think this is the ocean, this is San Bernardino, this is Malibu. So I can do at least the operation I wanted to show you, right? These are federal lands. And sometimes that's kind of good to know, because if you have the city councils, you have the council, the senators district, and then you have the federal, you can quickly see the relationship between all these governing entities that sometimes you don't even know who you're looking at because we are ignorant spatially. Yes, please. Most of the time it could be a national park. Most of them, these are protected lands. That's why they're federal land. Most of the time they're protected. Yes, for the good of the nation most of the time. So what are we going to do that? The operation I told you, let's see if I remember. So you're going to open the ARCTOOLBOX, and you're going to go under ARCTOOLBOX, Analysis Tools. You're going to extract, and you're going to clip twice. And then let's see if I remember here. So the clip feature, here's where you're going to put the cookie cutter, right? Sometimes I get it confused. So here we're going to put the not governing line, not transportation. We're going to put the county. And then here we're going to put our last one. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Notice how here it doesn't show this last layer. It means that you cannot really that I have never experienced this. In other words, this data is protected. It's type of protected, or it's I never encountered this, but do you see here? You should be seeing that USA federal lands, but notice how it's not there, or just the layer. Yeah, I don't see it. Interesting. Let's see if we change it a little bit. Let's say we do it the other way. I doubt it. Look, interesting. Look, Annabelle. So for the federal, we found this and we wanted to do the cookie cutter for the analysis tool extract clip, but it's protected. You cannot do it. Right? Okay, so it's still interesting data, right? So this is where you gotta make a decision. We can still put it under regulating lines or under, yes?
It's because it's a raster. It's a raster image. It's not the polylines or the polygon, so it doesn't have anything to actually cut. It's just kind of like a coloring.
It's like a JPEG. Is that what? Yeah, that's it. It's a JPEG. Now it would be interesting. You can still put these U.S. federal land. You could put it on their regulating. No, you could put it on their. They're not government boundaries. You could put it on their regulating lines. But just remember, this is not just LA County, so that's where you want to make a decision, because then this was already 3 gigabytes, so you want to make it 4 gigabytes. So it depends. You know, sometimes, let's say you have a Department of Agriculture, you got to know where all your, then maybe you need to go and find out one that is not an image, that is actually a polygon, a line, or a point. So for that, let me show you one. I'm going to open one that is a river. I have another map I found, just like GIS Online. And I'm going to open California. Oh, is that the one we just did? New wells and water resources. Save changes, yes. So it's just that simple. So you can see why there's so many jobs, because every government agency, is going to require, oh, this is the state senate that I already showed you before. It's going to require to have a personalized mapping services so you can make decisions spatially, right? So another way to do it, so I'm going to go back to, I wanted to kind of show you one example to do the cookie cutter again. And there's a way that you could actually potential habitat right here that it should show you. It's kind of interesting how hard it is to find rivers. Maybe sometimes on the query, if you go rivers, California, might be easier. And then if we just go, we only want the data really quick. This might be this. Let's go to this one. River, it might look like this is a good one. Okay, again, notice how this one, it only has, it's not giving it to you as a GIS maps. It's only like a PDF file. So he's not very nice. He doesn't want to share his data. San Diego County rivers. See, this is a good one, but it's San Diego. Rivers within San Diego County. Invasive plant survey. California Hyodra. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, so we close the source. We close this. It's kind of thinking because that has all the California. Seems like it's a lot of data. We turn off the environment. See, that's why it's kind of, look how much, I kind of think I'm going to delete. This might be a good one. I'm going to delete the federal land because it's making my computer really slow. So I'm going to go ahead, remove. And I think this one on California is going to allow us to do it. So now I have LA County, environment. I'm going to refresh it. So I should be able now with these have county, California flow lines. Okay, this is another example. I think it doesn't have the same projection. Do you see it? It has different projections. But let's say that we can go right here and open attribute tables, and basically these are creeks. Basically these are aqueducts and creeks, and they notice how this is important for maintenance, because very quickly you can say, you know, add the length of all the aqueducts, or you can say give me all the aqueducts that are X number. So I'm not sure. It could be that those are all the aqueducts. One way to find out will be, you can actually identify and see flow lines, California flow lines. It appears to me that if this is the state of California, I don't know. I think they have different projections. But let's say that they're correct. Let's say it's the same projection. So then I just want to finish this cookie cutter. I'm going to go analysis, extract, clip twice. And then I'm going to go here, input feature. And I'm going to go ahead and put the, again, notice how I cannot look at the California flow lines here. See, like when you minimize it, I don't know if it's because it's a raster. See, here it should be showing you, oh, here it is, sorry, I'm falling asleep. Here it is, California flow lines, right? And then here we put the county. Right? Oh, what happened here? So input feature, clip feature, and then we're going to say OK. So technically it should appear up here. It's thinking. I think it's thinking. Is going to appear a layer that only shows the hydrography flow lines inside the LA County. It should. I'm almost sure it's thinking. Let's see. See, it's here. There you go. Yes! But I don't know if I did it correctly. Oh, look at this. It's giving me a sign here. What is this? Clip. There's something wrong. I think I did it the opposite. Okay, let's do it again. Hydrography, extract, clip. I think it's so up here we'll put the county. See, I don't think this is consistent. Look, it worked the other way. Let's see, transportation. County, and then I put here flow line. It could be because they have different projections. See, it didn't like it. So it did have different projections. You see it? So let's take away this one for a second. Oh, it is there. Oh, we did it. Okay. So it did work. So if we go right click, and you know what's kind of interesting? It shows more than what we were showing It could be, I think it's right because look, it shows in so it did have the right projection. The only reason I thought it didn't is because when we were looking at it on the blue, it didn't show all these aqueducts, right? And it's good that you guys see me struggle so you can see if this happens to you, it's not only you, it's just that's where the nature of the beast is. So this is cool. So you saw me how I extract it, right? And then if we go right click up in attribute tables, now we have all these. We're going to have to do a research. What is the California hydrography flow lines? And then we will add the metadata. And then we can say that we clipped, and now we only have it for the Los Angeles County. So we will, the first thing we got to do here, we will change the name to it to LA County hydrography flow lines. And then you will have to go Google and find out why are these important and where they are. Apply, and then you will describe it here, right? And then you can, I bet you can even do it by sizes, right? So you can click on some of these. See, it has the shape, the size. So can you imagine for maintenance and operation how important this is? And that's it. So I hope you guys learned the struggle of just creating personal maps. Thank you. So here's another example. We went to California Spatial Library. We went under, this is all the spatial information. So we were under hydrology. We downloaded the site. We downloaded the zip file. And then we brought it in here. We actually were able to add the new layer, add new data. This is linear, this is poly, you add it, and that shows you two types of information that we downloaded from the California Spatial. These are all different lakes. So what are we going to do here? We have Los Angeles County, and we also have, let's refresh it. And what we're going to do is what I call it a cookie operation, where we're going to take away the rest of the state and only focus in Los Angeles County. But here I'm going to turn that off. We don't need this layer anymore. We already cut it, this one. And we're not going to work on this one. So we have the hydro linear. So these are all polylines. These are lines that represent lakes and rivers in California. So we only care about LA County for our IMAP Federal Enterprise Architecture as a solution making tool for people to look at relationship between the environment, education, and the economy for higher education. So here we go. So we open the toolbox, perfect timing, come check out this operation. And we're going to extract all the rivers from the state of California, and we're only going to want the ones in LA County. So we go clip twice, and then here we're going to put, I think we'll be at the top, and then we're going to clip it with the county. I always get confused. I think I got it right. Regulating line, county. And basically, let's see what happens. So all the rivers and lakes from the state of California are going to be cut by the Los Angeles County. I call it cookie cutter. It's going to clip it. And it's thinking. One way to know if it's thinking is just bring your cursor here to the ARCTOOLBOX. And notice here, so now you turn this off and the entire state of California disappears. And your LA County ARCTOOLBOX analysis tool extract click command only selected the one in the LA County. So now we don't need this one anymore, right? But before we do that, yeah, we're going to remove it. And then now we can actually, underwater, we just added 2 pieces of information for our ecology master database. Now we have that. Now we can probably give it another name. Los Angeles County rivers and lakes. According to, this is very important, and then here in the description, we have to say where we got it. California Spatial Library. And then you can, this is what is called the metadata. You can give more information. Okay. Turn on the water. Now we have it. So now I want to say, what is the relationship between Trade Tech and the Los Angeles River? You can do, you know, what's the distance, what's the buffer, if you get a grant. So I think these are only the rivers. We will have to do our research and really look at the taxonomy, because there's something called the watersheds and underground rivers, and there's a lot of layers for rivers. So each of these layers is a knowledge in itself. Thank you.